Hey YouTube, welcome from Casa de Bar Chuck. So what I want to do is do a video on Basic Rhythm 101. I just kind of realized on my channel I didn't really have anything that talks about specifically these notes. Because I alluded to this in one of my videos about why it's important to know how to read music and know your notes and how to count and all these things. So what I want to do is just a basic crash course on your basic notes. Now this isn't going to be a comprehensive video that discusses every possible rhythm out there. Oh, say hey to Twix. Hey Twix. But I just want to go over the main ones is what I wanted to do, okay? As well as talk about playing them in time, of course, and how to use a metronome, okay? So before we get started, let's talk about the metronome first, okay? If you don't know what a metronome is a device that basically keeps time.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2,
okay?
3, 4.
And as you can tell, the time is very steady. You can also get different sounds and such. And of course, you can speed it up.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, you can slow it back down.
1, 2,
So on and so forth, okay?
1, 2.
All right, so once you start learning your basic notes, you want to practice them to a metronome, okay? And the reason why you do that is the metronome teaches you how to play those notes in time as well as how to play steady, okay? Because you have to remember, again, music is a language, okay? You're speaking a language, okay? And the language is these various rhythms and notes, okay? And these rhythms and notes have to be played in time, okay, in order to speak the language correctly, where the other instruments can understand you and you can understand them, okay? Time is ultimately the glue that makes music make sense. Without time, it would be just random nonsense. I mean, like just random noise. It wouldn't sound like anything, okay? Time is what makes music sound the way it does when you listen to it, okay? So the metronome is going to teach you how to play these notes in time as well as how to play these notes steady, okay? Because most beginners just starting out aren't going to play these rhythms in time that well, much less play them steady, okay? And that's the same across the board. It was the same when I started, and it's just so it's a skill that definitely has to be developed, okay? So so what we're going to do here is go over our basic notes, and we're going to start with quarter notes, okay? The quarter note is your foundational notes, okay? It's how the tempo of a song, and tempo just means the speed of music. The quarter note is how tempo is measured, okay? So I'm going to turn on the metronome. I'm playing at 76 beats per minute, and that just means how many times the metronome is beeping in 1 minute, okay? I'm going to play some quarter notes just so you can hear them because it's very easy, okay?
1, 2.
All right, make sure you count out loud.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
Okay, those are quarter notes, okay? So as you can tell, tempo equals the quarter note equals the tempo, okay? I don't know if you've ever seen a drummer on a video or on TV count off a band. 1, 2, 3, 4, boosh, okay, and the group starts. Well, that drummer is setting the tempo or the quarter note pulse. Or maybe you've seen on TV a conductor conducting a massive symphony orchestra where they're up there, you know, they might have a baton and they're up there doing this. Right? Well, how have you ever wondered how is that massive orchestra? How are they all staying together? I mean, so many people in that orchestra, all playing different instruments, all playing different parts. How is it meshing and coming together where it sounds like music? Well, it's because of that conductor. He is up there.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2,
being the tempo, being the metronome for that symphony.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
Okay? So he's up there being their metronome. They're basing their rhythms and notes against the time that the conductor is giving them. Okay? And that's how it works. Okay? And then in a rock band and pop band or funk band, country music, anything like that, the drummer is essentially the conductor. He's the one driving the bus on the time and holding the band together. Okay? So your quarter note, that is the basic foundational note, okay? And all the other rhythms are going to be based, as far as how they're played and playing them in time, are going to be based off that quarter note, okay? All right, so that's your quarter note, real simple, okay? So let's go to the next one. How about eighth notes, okay? Now eighth notes are going to be twice as fast as quarter notes, and they're going to be counted 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and they're going to be played just like this.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1,
2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and
1, 2.
Okay. So hopefully that made sense, okay? Twice as fast as quarter notes, and you're going to count them 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? All right, next rhythm. Okay, now we're going to play eighth note triplets, okay? Eighth note triplets are 3 per beat, okay? And we're going to count them 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Now what's going to be interesting about these is that each hand is going to land on the beat. So you're going to go right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, da, 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 da. Okay, so since it's an odd number of notes, each hand's going to land on the beat. So just be ready for that. Okay, so let's try those.
1, 2,
3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 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 and 3 and 4 and 1.
2, 3.
Okay, so there's your eighth note triplet, okay? Now next, okay, is going to be our 16th notes, okay? Now 16th notes are 4 per beat, okay? They're going to be twice as fast as eighth notes, okay? And we're going to count them 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and, okay? And it's going to look like this. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1.
2, 3.
Okay. So again, as you start counting these faster notes, it can become a little bit of a tongue twister. So it takes a little bit of practice. But the one thing I want to point out is that no matter what rhythm I'm counting, every time I say the number, it lines up with the metronome. Okay? So that's important to make sure that you're playing the rhythm and counting the rhythm in time. Okay? As you want to make sure that whenever you say the 1, 2, 3, and 4, that it matches with the beep on the metronome. Okay? 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1. Okay, so there I counted all the rhythms that we've already done. Quarter notes, eighth note triplets, 16th notes. And again, every time I say the number, it matches with the beep. And that's all you gotta do to make sure you're counting in time. And then from there, it's just follow your voice with your sticks and you'll be perfect. Okay? All right, so the next rhythm, all right, now we're gonna skip quintuplets, which is 5 per beat. Okay, I will do a later video on 5s. We're also going to skip 7s, which is septuplets. Okay, I will do a later video on those two, but those are not as common. And for somebody that's a beginner or just getting into learning their notes, I just don't think it's necessary to learn those just yet. So I'm going to skip those. Okay. So now we're going to move on up to 16th note triplets. Okay. Now 16th note triplets are 6 per beat. Okay. And we're going to count these. This is a bit of a tongue twister. 1 da li and da li, 2 da li and da li, 3 da li and da li, 4 da li and da li. Now there probably are some other methods of counting this that you can try if you want to. This is how I was taught, so this is how I naturally teach these. Okay, but just practice. You'll get better at it, and it might be even a good idea in general just to start at a much slower speed. I'm doing 76, which is about moderately slow tempo. So feel free to go slower if you need to. Okay. 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 1 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 1 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 1 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 1 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to the end, 4 to the end, 2 to the end, 3 to Okay, now I'm going to do that a little bit slower because I know that sounds like a lot. Okay, so let's go down to, let's go to 60. And 3 delete and delete, 4 delete and delete, 1 delete and delete, 2 delete and delete, 3 delete and delete, 4 delete and delete, 1 delete and delete, 2 delete and delete, 3 delete, 4 delete and delete, 1 delete and delete, 2 delete and delete, 3 delete and delete, 4 delete and delete, 1 delete and delete, 2 delete and delete, 3 delete and delete, 4 delete and delete, 1. Okay, so as you can tell, the note values are getting faster. Okay, so again, we're going to skip the septuplet, all right, and we're going to move to our final rhythm for this video, and that's going to be 30-second notes. Okay, 30-second notes are twice as fast as 16th notes. Okay, they are 8 per beat. All right. Now, as far as counting 30-second notes, I count them just like I count 16th notes: 1 E enda, 2 E enda, 3 E enda, 4 E enda. The biggest difference is I'm playing 2 notes per count. Okay. So what that means is I'm going 1 E. Okay, these are 16ths. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and So you notice for each count I played 2 notes, and essentially I'm only counting the right hand. Okay, so 16ths would be 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and okay, 30 seconds. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and okay. So again, your for each count gets 2 notes. Okay, so you're again just counting the right hand. Okay, so that's how I count 30-second notes. Again, there might be another way that you could do it, but I think this is the most common. Okay, so if you need to, like I just did there, maybe put your left hand on your leg or another surface so you can concentrate on that right hand, or left hand if you're leading with the left hand. Okay, so to a metronome.
1,
2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 2 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 2 Okay, let's try a little bit faster. Let's go back up to 76, I guess. And the 3 E and the 4 E and the 2 E. Okay?
3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay? So, that's kind of a rhythm that after a while you just sort of feel, okay? So that's at that point, I mean, I can still count it, but I'm really just trying to feel it out because it's just twice the speed of 16th notes, okay? So there you go. I mean, that wraps up just our basic notes. And again, this isn't an exhaustive list. There are many variation rhythms for each main note or main rhythm, okay? But this is hopefully just to give you a good starting point, okay? And again, I can't emphasize enough that you should use a metronome. You should count, okay? All right, the whole point of counting is to ensure accuracy, okay? And a little saying that I have is, when in doubt, count, okay? If you're not sure what you're playing is in time or accurate or whatever, count, okay? Now, if you know for a fact it's correct or you can feel the rhythm, like I was saying about the 30-second notes, then you don't have to count it, okay? But if you're not sure, you're tentative about it, count, okay? All right, so hopefully this will give you a good starting point. I'm also going to upload next an exercise called the rhythm scale, in which I take all these rhythms and I'm going to play them from bottom all the way to top, back to the bottom, where I do like 2 measures of quarter notes, 2 measures of eighths, 2 measures of eighth note triplets, 2 measures of 16th notes, 2 measures of 16th note triplets, 30 seconds, kind of like a pyramid, and then go all the way back down. Okay, that's just a basic rhythm scale. I'm going to upload a video next that has that, because that can be just a good basic exercise that you can work on to put all these together. But so stay tuned for that. So anyway, but take your time. I start at 76. Maybe start at 60 for all these. Okay, don't feel don't feel bad about needing to start off really slow. I mean, the main thing is you want to make sure that your counting is good and that you're in time, okay? Because again, music is a language. You have to articulate these notes accurately, okay? If you don't, then it's wrong. It's going to sound wrong. Even if you're only a tiny bit off, it's going to be wrong. It's going to sound that way. All right. So this is just a good starting point, okay? For a beginner or somebody that's completely new, or maybe somebody that knows their notes but just needs a basic brush-up course. This is just a good starting point, okay? But at the end, in order to really get into this and dive into all the other sub-rhythms and rests and things that we didn't cover in this video, you're definitely going to want to get a good book, get a good teacher, and really dive into all of it and get really good at it. Because if you can't play these rhythms in time and solid on one surface, you're definitely going to have trouble playing it on multiple surfaces, okay? So take it slow, learn your notes, and I guarantee you'll be the better for it. Okay? So stay tuned for that rhythm scale. I'll be uploading that hopefully really soon, because I'm going to record it next. Okay? I appreciate it, guys. Take care and have a good weekend. All right, see you.